So in this video we will see how to populate a list view, or you can say a JList, using the database. Okay, so here in this video I will be using the MySQL database. So the things that you will require is the MySQL database installed. You can install the MySQL server, or you can install the XAMPP server. So I have a XAMPP server installed in this system. So here you will need, first thing you need is the MySQL database. Here you can see I am using the phpMyAdmin. Okay, so to ease the process of making tables, I will be using the phpMyAdmin console thing. Okay, so if you're using the MySQL server, you can use the commands as well, or you can say the queries, SQL queries. You can fire those directly and make the tables as per your desire. Okay, so here our focus will be fetching the data from the database and populating it to the list. Okay, so here two things that you will need to connect the MySQL database to the Java application, that is called the JavaSQL connector, or you can say the MySQL connector. Okay, so that's a library that I've downloaded already. All I need to do is add that jar to this thing. Okay, here I will have that library. Yes, it is there. So here I will copy that libraries folder. So here I will get that library here. See, so now in previous video we had done a form in which I had shown you the delete operations and stuff. Okay, so here in this thing we'll continue from there only. We'll create a new JFrame here. Okay, so for ease of use, test frame. Okay, so let's call it test frame, and here I will use a list view. You can use a JCombo box as well. Okay, so let's search where it is. JCombo, see list. So here I have taken the list. Okay, so this monitor is small, so I guess I need to extend this thing. So here what I will do is I need to populate this list. So here I will keep a button on which you can directly load it on window load events as well. Okay, you can do it that way as well, but I prefer doing it triggering on an action so that you can see the difference. Okay, so here populate, we'll call it populate, and let's rename it to btn populate. So it's not necessary to change the name of the variables. Okay, so I am doing it because it makes the task easier if you are revisiting any type of code. So that is why I'm doing it. If you're not interested in it, then you cannot do it as well. That's not a problem. So here I have created, or you can say I have emptied the model of this thing. So now what I will do is here I will change this home frame to my new frame, that is the test frame. Okay, test frame tf is equals to new test frame, and tf dot set visible true. Okay, so here this will make the frame visible. Okay, so here let's start. See, you can see this frame, and what I want to do is when I click on this button, I want it to populate it, this list. Okay, so what I will do is I will create a simple table here. I will create a database, new database. Okay, so we'll name it, you can say testings db. Okay, hope there's no testing db. No, it's test db, there's no testing db. So here I will create a table, you can say user table, usrtbl. Okay, so what I want to do is usr email, I can say. Okay, let's keep it a varchar 200. No, I'll keep it user. Okay, 200. You can keep it any way you want. Okay, password. Okay, 50 characters, and save. We are just doing this for the sake of, you can say, demo. So it's not mandatory to do all these things. Okay, so you can use any size for varchar here, or because this is an experiment. Okay, so here what I will do is I will add some rows here. Okay, so test@gmail.com, test123 abcd@yahoo.com and test1234. So these are the two columns that I have added in this thing, sorry, two rows that I have added to this table. I have not set any primary key or anything likewise. Okay, so this is only just a demo thing, so I have not done all those things, but this is for the sake of example, so I am keeping it simple. I am not confusing you guys by making use database schema and stuff. I am just doing a demonstration. So here what is done is you have created, and now what I want to do is I want to fetch all the user emails in this thing. So what I can do is, what query I can write, see this, select star from USR table, so this will return both the rows. Okay, so I want to use this query here. So what I need to do here is, sorry, here in this design I need to first create a model. That is what we had created in this previous video as well. So here I will create default list model. Let's call it DLM is equals to new default list model. Okay, and once you have created this default list model, what you need to do is you need to populate it and on this button. So what I will do is I will double click this thing, okay, and it will create this action performed thing. So here I am going to write my code. So I have a ready-made code for this thing. I will copy slowly. So first thing that you need to do is you need to know the JDBC database driver. So here the package or the class name is com.mysql.jdbc driver. Okay, so the procedure is to create a class, okay, and call that class for using class.forName method, which we will be calling here. And here you have to specify the DB URL. So here it is for a older DB, so it is here, but our new DB is called, database name will be here, okay, testing DB. So I will call it testing DB. So once this is done, what I will do is now I will copy the username password. So these are the username password that you have set for your instance, MySQL instance. If you have set any password, I have currently not set any password for this instance specifically. Okay, so this login that I am using on Ubuntu doesn't have any password set for MySQL. So generally it's considered a security loophole not to set the password, but just for the sake of demonstration we are not setting the password here. Okay, so here these three statements are important. Okay, four statements actually. So here if we do this thing, so this will show some errors because we are not throwing SQL exception and class not found exception. Okay, so these are two important exceptions. So class, if this driver is not connected sometimes, so this will throw a class not found exception. Okay, so in the newer version of this MySQL driver, this is optional. Okay, the class is automatically loaded here, so you won't get that error in the newer versions. I am using an older version of JDBC plugin, you can say, the driver. So for me that throws an error in the runtime. So here you have to select java.sql.connection, and here prepared statement that I am using here. So what prepared statement does is it allows us to pass parameters, okay, in runtime. Here we do not need prepare statement, but whenever you are writing queries, make sure that you use prepare statement so that you can pass runtime parameters. Excuse me. So here what I will do is I will surround the block with a try catch. So here I got a class not found exception, and now an SQL exception also will be given. Okay, see here. See, so these are the two exceptions that need to be handled here. Okay, so now what I will do is, here the query is given, so this is it. So from here we need to do our own thing. See here, so here this query will come. So what query we need to put here is select star from table name. So table name here is user table. So yeah, I'll copy this thing and I'll place it here. So let's remove this thing. Sometimes that thing causes error. So here what I will do is html.execute query. So there are two things here. Whenever you are querying or you are fetching the data from the database, you have to use a execute query. And if you are inserting something into the database, inserting, updating or anything, any type of manipulation queries, then you have to use execute update. Okay, so these are the two important things here. And now whenever your result is returned, it is stored into a result set. Okay, so here I got a result set. I will import that, and now what I will do is I will use a while clause here, rs dot next. So it will do the next, it will actually circumnavigate that thing. It will traverse through those entries that are available in the database, and here I will do rs dot get string. Okay, it depends on what type of data you are having. On that you have to do the get string. If you are using, there are different types of columns available here actually, if you know. See there, if you are let's try to insert a column. Okay, where is it? Okay, so here there are different types of data types. You can see here varchar is there, text is there. So varchar, text or these things, you can take it as string as well. But if you are using integer or date, just make sure you are using here proper get string. Instead of get string you will be using get date and stuff. Okay, get date, get timestamp, and these things are available here, so you have to take those things properly. So here, after this is done, what I will do here is I need to know the field name here. Okay, so usr email. Okay, user email. So email. Okay, so here I have created this thing, dlm dot add element. So here, for those who have forgotten what exactly DLM is, it is the default list model that we have declared at the beginning of our program to populate the list. Okay, so once this is done, what I will do is I will set this model now. Previously cleared the model of this thing from here. Now I'll set the model. So first I will do is change variable name, just because I find it comfortable to use different names. User, jls user, or lst user, you can name it anything you want. jls user dot set model dlm. Okay, so this is how you have set this model. Now let's see if it works. Okay, so now I will click on this button. See, I got the usernames, both the usernames from the database. Okay, so this was a simple, you can say, fetching through the database and populating the list. In the upcoming videos we will see how to manipulate this data as well. Okay, so how you can use the data for autocomplete purposes, or how you can edit, you can, or you can say update those database by while typing here as well. Okay, so we'll see all those things in upcoming videos. This was just a beginning, so hopefully you will find this helpful. Okay, so thank you.